welcome back to Soul Reaver. Finally, we're done with a lot of unnecessary stuff and it's time to progress in the story of Soul Reaver and continue on our merry fratricide way. Or on our merry way of fratricide. In order to do that, we will first need to go past a couple of very difficult obstacles, such as having to jump out of the water. But Raziel's resolve is strong, and so is mine. Now we are entering this area, the northernmost part of Nazgûl, which is populated by Dumah and Dumah himself, who is not really alive by this point. Now, it is unclear whether this place is full of snow or it's full of ash. There are two reasons why it's unclear. Or rather, there's one reason each for why it could be considered both snow and ash. Snow, because this is actually the northern part of Nazgûl, and it corresponds to an area that is in Blood Omen completely covered in snow. To a mountainous area that's in snow. That's one thing. But at the same time, we know about the smokestacks. And this place is called, well, not this place, this entire place, but Dumah's residence is called the Ash Village. Implying that it's probably ash because of the smokestacks of vampires.
This city once teemed with the life of my kind. Could it be that other clans had suffered the same fate as mine? In his madness, could Kain spare none of his brood?
It was not Kain, but Dumah's own arrogance that brought the downfall of his clan. These are human weapons, Raziel. Believing themselves invincible, Dumah and his offspring failed to see an attack coming from the least likely assailants. Complacent in their arrogance, they were taken by surprise, allowing the human vampire hunters to decimate their ranks with little resistance. The few that escaped have been reduced to scavengers.
And it would seem that this is the reason why Dumah are the default vampire in this post-apocalyptic, I could say, Nazgûl. As all other vampire lieutenants, as all other bosses, well, except the Tomb Guardian mini-boss, Dumah is a puzzle boss. However, he is unique in one quality. He is actually defeated before he is encountered. Or rather, not he's defeated before encountering, but the puzzles need to be solved before you encounter him. It's technically possible to do that after you see him, after you encounter him, but it's such a spectacular pain in the ass that you honestly do not want to do that. So you don't want to just blaze through this entire place. No, you want to take your time, do everything, get prepared, and then kill it. Now look at this window with the block. This is such a cock tease because you're literally centimeters away from reaching it by a jump, but you will never reach it, so leave it. Dumah's residence, Dumah's place, is probably the location in the game that has the most noticeable influence of Muslim, of Arabic architecture. That being said, the entire game, and hell, the entire series really, draws a lot of inspiration from mythology of Abrahamic religions. So this one is just a bit more emphasized, I would say. And this is coming back to the discussion that we had in the comments about Dumah's, about Arabic script, about writings in Arabic script, or in Arabic at Dumah's place. I am gonna just throw it around right now. I haven't found anything there that looks anything similar, like anything remotely close to Arabic. But still the architecture is there, and the Sanctuary of the Clans is also, probably to a much lesser extent though, but still influenced by this. And there are other, well, not references, but once again, inspirations taken from these religions. Hell, the names, Raziel, it's the name of an angel. This block puzzle is probably the dumbest block puzzle in the game. Because here you don't even have to put blocks in their slots, here you just have to move blocks from one side of the room to the other side and then make a pillar out of them to get up. And that's it. Thankfully this one doesn't really take as much time. I think I'm done with it in maybe 3 minutes, maybe even less actually. Oh, by the way, if you remember what was the introduction for this place, a lot of the Dumah hymn and the information about the attack by humans, yeah, that is true. We're not going to see any living Dumah hymn in this place, apart from the ones that got resurrected here once the water was lowered down. Yes, this extra block is necessary because Raziel cannot jump a 3-block high pillar. This here is part 1 of the prep. And this is actually the thing that will be used to kill Dumah. But the puzzle is not limited to that. Actually, I didn't even notice that this vampire was there. Well, sucks for him. Or maybe her, maybe it's a she, we don't really know by this point. They're so devolved, there's no knowing that. And now we are moving on to part 2 of the Dumah prep, which involves lowering a bridge that will be used by Raziel to lure Dumah in his own device that will prove his undoing. Why the hell does he have that device? I don't know, and I'm not sure I want to know. That right there was the reason why platforming in Soul Reaver sucks. Complete, utter, fundamental, I would say, ass. Also, these jumps are... you have to be pixel perfect to not fall down. You have to jump at the very last second. And now for the last element that is needed to get Dumah to where we want him. And to do that we need to break down the gate. Because Raziel can get through that gate in the spectral realm, but Raziel in the physical realm or Dumah cannot. And in case you don't know what I'm talking about, do not worry, you will see in a second. Honestly, I'm looking at the way I'm playing through this, I am realizing that this can basically be treated as a walkthrough. Raziel is pretty damn strong.
My brother Dumah, a powerful warrior in life. He would have burned with shame to have me find him here like a stuck pig.
Before doing anything, let us take a look around this place. Because it's big, and it has statues of Dumah himself. Because he's a vain motherfucker. And an arrogant one too. And we're gonna see it when we talk to him in a second. Or in a minute, rather. And as you can see, I don't really see anything that would be resembling Arabic script at all. This weird pattern on the stained glass, It's interesting to look at, but there's really nothing that would bring your attention to it. There is nothing that could be interpreted in any way. It's just there. And now watch this.
Come to save my soul, prodigal brother.
Not to save it, but to take it. Your only salvation is release.
Yeah, as you can see, Dumah is a vampiric soul in the spectral realm, and yes, he can suck Raziel's soul just like any other vampiric soul. And he does, or he will rather, exist in both the spectral and physical realms.
Unbound at last. I thank you, brother.
Your thanks are premature, Dumah. I have not forgotten whose hands bore me into the abyss.
The centuries in Limbo have honed my strength. Not even Kain is my equal.
Even the strongest vampire is vulnerable.
We shall test your thesis, Raziel.
My bloodthirst has been superseded by an even darker hunger. I will consume your soul before this day is done.
So the entire puzzle now, or the entire fight now, is to lure Dumah to that fireplace, to that fire chamber that we blew open. There's only one really cool thing about this, and it's the fact that Dumah is voiced by Simon Templeman. And those of you who listened carefully to Dumah's dialogue could actually hear it. Unlike Milkiah's dialogue, Milkiah is voiced by Michael Bell like Raziel, but you can't really hear it because of how distorted the voice is. But here you could hear it alright. And another thing is that I really fucking hate this chase sequence. I don't know why, but I really fucking hate it. Yeah, this is how Dumah sucks soul. Sucks Raziel's soul. This is where my heart stopped for a second, because I thought that Dumah actually disappeared, and it does happen. When you run too far away from him, he disappears, and you have to go all the way back to his throne room to lure him back here and repeat the entire sequence again. But thankfully, he respawned. And here I cannot find him again. And once again I think, well shit, now I'm gonna have to do this all over again. But thankfully he will reappear, I just don't see him. Yes, have you noticed him there? Up there on the other side of the room, on the other platform. I don't know why did I fail to notice him there. Let's kill him.
Consuming Dumah's soul empowers you to wind a constricting band of spectral energy around your enemies. This energy manifests itself in both the spectral and material realms, and in the physical world, it can be employed to manipulate otherwise immovable objects.
The final ability, the Constrict ability, also known as the puzzle-solving ability, which has no impact on the gameplay whatsoever, or on combat rather. It can be used in combat, but I don't think I'm ever gonna try that. It's just it takes too much time. What it does is it stuns enemies if you circle for a few circles around them. That was fantastic wording, but I hope that you get the point. That was fabulous. This is the reason why Soul Reaver platforming is so not good. The reason why I have not stopped the video at this point is that there is still stuff here to pick up, for all of which you need to be able to constrict things. These things entail 1 health power up and actually nothing else. Oops. Yeah, now Raziel rotates things. He could do that with his strength, irrespective of being able to create a band of spectral energy. One thing that I noticed is that Raziel in Soul Reaver, only in the first Soul Reaver by the way, has absolutely huge calves. Nobody has calves this size. People usually complain that their calves are small. Hell, mine are huge, but they're not that huge. The last room doesn't have anything useful. This is not the first time this will happen. So yeah, all this has is some Eldritch energy. So that is it for the Ash Village, for Dumah's place. This was the last act of fratricide that Raziel will commit, and before heading off to kill Kain, we will collect a bunch of stuff that's left. Thank you for watching, goodbye.